I'm gonna go play something like, I'll go play Grand Theft Auto San Andreas on my iPod because I don't have to wait to play that. I can just go shoot a few things, or I'll go play Oceanhorn, which just came out like a few months ago and is a fantastic game. It's just like Wind Waker, but on your iPod, and it's cool. And and then Dungeon Keeper is this game where you're supposed to build a dungeon. It's a real-time strategy game, I believe would be the correct way to describe it. But then you have, it's like it's combining it with Clash of Clans, and Clash of Clans is this game where you like build up an army and you can upgrade your buildings, which I have played before. I just recently deleted again, and it'll take days for you to, or just hours and days for you to build up. But that's fine because the only gameplay in Clash of Clans is really just raiding people, which is fine. I can deal with that. But when Dungeon Keeper, which is a game where you're supposed to constantly build your dungeon, you gotta defend it, and you can go, and in the new game you can actually go and raid other people's dungeons, which is great. But there's a downside to that as well. It requires all online capability, which means you constantly have an internet connection just to play it. I'm not a big fan of that, because, I'm sorry for that pause, that was like 2 seconds for the pause. You have to, I cannot stand that. Why? It's like, it doesn't make any sense to me. I can't fathom that. I don't know. I completely, my train of thought completely derailed, hold on. But it just, having all online capability, to play a single player, you can't even get on and check your dungeon without being, if you're somewhere in the freaking, maybe you're on a road trip and you're going to Vegas or somewhere, and you're on that long stretch desert road, long stretch of desert road, excuse me, and suddenly you're like, hey, I'm gonna play some Dungeon Keeper, I'm just gonna check on my, oh wait, you can't because you don't have internet. What? Do you know how stupid that is? That is so stupid, and EA is doing that with all of their games now. They have literally come out and said, hey, we're going to do that with all of our games now, because who wants to pirate our games? Everyone. EA, you do have the ability to make good games. We have seen that with SimCity. Spore had DRM as soon as it came out, which is made by Maxis, which is another EA company, I believe. It is a child company of EA, or it is now. It came out with DRM. Spore became the most pirated game ever, I think, until the new SimCity came out, which isn't even that great of a game, but, I mean, it's SimCity, who doesn't want to play it? It's not as good as SimCity 4, apparently. I couldn't tell you, because I haven't played it for myself. But you still have to have online capability just to play the single-player version of the game, which requires no online capability whatsoever. It's single-player. You shouldn't have to be online to play a single-player game. And then, this Dungeon Keeper game the developer of the original Dungeon Keeper, Peter Molyneux, that man actually had, and I'll post a link to the interview he had with BBC, he said that it was ridiculous. He didn't even like it. He thought it was ridiculous. And I would too if that was my game. I wouldn't want my game to be turned into something that was monetized the crap out of. Okay? I would want my game to be some sort of faithful remake, at least. The problem with it got really negative reviews. Like, if this was a whole new EA game, it wouldn't be nearly as bad, and I probably wouldn't be ranting about it nearly as much. I probably wouldn't be ranting about it at all, even. This video wouldn't exist. And the negativity for the game wouldn't have been as bad. It would have been like, if there's, any of their other monetized games that they make, like Madden 25 or whatever, because that one is better. Madden 25 is better than Dungeon Keeper, I think. At least you can play it. But well, I'm not saying you can't play Dungeon Keeper. Never mind. The problem is Dungeon Keeper. The fans were expecting something good. It looked promising. It didn't look like it was going to be that bad. The original release, like the beta releases for like the Employees Touch Arcade and all kinds of these websites and stuff where they could play it, they said it didn't look too bad. The purchases didn't look like they were going to be too forceful. I had high hopes for the game myself. I thought it was going to be just a little bit of a just a tiny bit of a grind, maybe. I can handle that. I can be like, it'll take 10 minutes to dig out a block. That's fine. I can wait 10 minutes. But when it takes 4 hours to dig out the first block, no, I'm not even going to touch that game. I'm not going anywhere near it. I'm not going to touch it. I'm not going to breathe on it. I'm not going to look at it. For I'm afraid it's going to corrupt me in some way. I'm just kidding. That's a joke. But it bothers me to no end that this game exists. It shouldn't exist. And I don't care who made it. I don't care if someone put their entire heart and soul in it. You didn't do good enough. You didn't even put your heart and soul in it. All you did was take the basic concept of the game and made it to where it's not fun. It's not fun. And there are people who give this game 5-star reviews. Those people are idiots. They don't know what they're talking about. They've never played a Dungeon Keeper game in their life. This game is not, and it's not even fun. It doesn't look fun. It doesn't sound fun to me. I'm not saying that you people are going to find it fun. You find it fun to find. Different strokes for different folks. I understand that. But what I'm saying is, my opinion is that it doesn't look like it's a good game. I don't think it's a good game. I don't think it should exist at all. And it bothers me to know, and I know I've said this a million times before, and I'm sorry for the repetitiveness. I'm literally almost at a loss for words at why this game is a thing. Who thought it was a good idea? And I'm probably the corporate head of EA or whatever the fudge his name is like, this. I could imagine it being a good game, even. Someone actually tried to put their heart and soul in this game. I could imagine that. And then it'd be like, it's like a faithful recreation. It's like Dungeon Keeper 3 almost. And it's just Dungeon Keeper, but on your iPod. And you can, it's like the original game, and it's got big dungeons, and it's got really neat graphics, and you don't need to do anything. You don't need to wait for a certain amount of time. More than a few seconds for your blocks to be built. You can build out entire things, and it's like, oh, great, and then the president of EA gets a hold of it and looks at it and is like, this is a great game, but you know what it needs? Make everything less. Make the dungeons smaller. Make the gameplay less fun. Keep the humor, that's fine. Keep the graphics, that's fine. But make sure you make everything less. Just, add a premium currency, add 3 currencies. There's 2 currencies that aren't premium. It's like rocks and gold or something. And then add a premium currency, which trickles out very slowly. And then make the gameplay horrible. And then, make people hate themselves for playing this game. And then just monetize the crap out of it. Make the prices go higher every week, every day, every time you update the freaking game. And make people hate themselves. Make people hate us even more. EA, just go die in a fire. EA has given some disappointing crap over the years, and I was actually worried because they recently acquired PopCap, which I was so scared about that, because Plants vs Zombies 2 came out, and thankfully that was actually a good game. Plants vs Zombies 2, I believe, was a pretty good sequel. It may not have been better than the first game, but I did like it, and I thought EA did good on that. The in-app purchases aren't forced upon you. They're entirely optional. There's like 3 plants that aren't even required. None of it's required to beat the game. I don't think there's even a premium currency. There's just keys, which you can get during normal gameplay. It's not even a grind. You just gotta go beat a few levels, get a few keys, go unlock some things. The stars, you can just go back and beat all the levels again. You get to play the game. It's fun. You get to play the game again. And then you can use different strategies, and you get all these plants. There are a whole bunch of plants in-game that you can unlock. And then you can buy these things like sun upgrades and plant upgrades and this plant power stuff, which is really neat. And then you buy it. But you can also unlock it in-game. By using these keys, you can unlock secret paths, and then you can just get the sun upgrades in the game itself. That's an example of a good game. That's how you make a good game that's free, uses in-app purchases, and doesn't kill the experience for the player. If you want to look at the bad game, look at Madden 25 or Dungeon Keeper. Both of those games are terrible. You don't want to play either of those. Just take my advice. Don't play Dungeon Keeper. Please stay away from it. But you can still play it if you want. I'm not going to stop you. I'm just saying, it's not a good game to play. I guess I'm done now. This is Captain and the Fan Master, and I'm gonna see you guys next time, I guess. Goodbye.